Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome. Who was that? Who was that? Who had their mic on? Who had their mic on? Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the channel. I always seem to have one of my panelists unable to press the mute button on their mics. I don't know why. Anyway, welcome all. Big up to you all. What a performance. What a result. Did this team beat Tottenham and Man United? This team beat Tottenham and Man United. You know what? They played well. They played well. Good possession, good attack, bad finishing, some very, very good defending, some goal line clearances, some physicality, some good play. However, Chelsea, with all that they're going through, with all the pressures and the turmoil and the stress of the past few weeks, are still winning game after game after game. And they're doing it comfortably. This game was won comfortably. We could have scored more. And at no point in that game did I feel we were going to lose. Maybe I'm just overconfident. Maybe I just saw the game differently. But the performance by Chelsea Football Club today, even the Middlesbrough fans were happy to see that performance. Because they were clapping, they were joyful, they were dancing, they were celebrating, and the team was 2 goals down. So I guess they were celebrating and dancing because Chelsea were doing so well. I mean, that's how I like to say it. We didn't have any fans out there, so the Middlesbrough fans wanted to show some love, I guess. Yeah? Let's just look at it from a positive perspective. What a result. Mason Mount. We have been critical of Mason Mount. We have been look, champions in the chat. I'm gonna address you in a second. I love you all. I'm gonna address you in a second. We got some champions in the chat. Mason Mount's performance today was fantastic. We've criticized him in the past. We've talked about his lack of positioning, lack of vision, etc. Today, it was all about him and Hakim Ziyech on that right-hand side doing the business. You know, Hakim Ziyech is a wizard. He's a magician. Today, he had a fantastic assistant. The passing, the chemistry, the interchange. I mean, they even made Lukaku play good. Romelu Lukaku's performance today was good. I know we're criticizing him, and I know someone is going to come on this stream and they're going to say, no, he's not good, he's not this, he's not that. Look, Romelu Lukaku today played well. Especially with all that is going on, and especially with him, being dropped game after game. Kai Havertz coming in and doing the business. It can't have been good for his morale, but he did well today. I'm impressed with the performance of the lads. Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. What a player. Look, we have got a fantastic squad. We have got a fantastic team, a fantastic manager, and we're going to go to Wembley again. And I might just have to give Governor 1905 a call if we're able to get tickets, because I might go to that match with him. Fantastic. We're back at Wembley, lads. We're back at Wembley. Chelsea have been in the FA Cup final. What is it, 2 seasons in a row? Let's do it again, and this time let's try to win it. Let me address some of my champions in the chat before we open the discussion. Who do we have? Courtney, as always, big up to you. welcome. Mikhail, my brother, big up bro, beating Blue Lounge UTC, wherever it may be. We are the infamous CFC. Big up to you, Mikhail. Big up to you. MCIG, 600 Chelsea fans at the game today. Yeah, I know, 600 and something. Big up, guys. Verana, welcome. ITM, big up to you. Abdul B, as always, big up to you. Wissam, Football Styles, big up to you. Mate, listen, if you have any news about the media group, DM me, man, because it's looking a little bit dodgy on that front at the moment. So let me know what you're hearing from your end. Miss Melina, big up to you, my sister. I hope you're doing well. Good to have you in the chat. I might just be giving you a promotion. Give me 1 second. I think you might deserve a promotion here. Miss Melina, you are officially a moderator on my stream. So big up to you. Welcome. Chelsea Blue, good to have you in the stream. Who else do I have? The governor himself. Big up to you. Look, I might be getting in touch with you for the quarterfinal if we're able to get tickets. If we're able to buy tickets, I might be giving you a bell. Who else do we have? Bobby Fairview, welcome. And Woodshedder. Who am I missing? Gabriel. And that's everyone that I can see in the chat. Guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Let's get them likes up as quick as possible so the stream can be recommended and promoted by the YouTube algorithm. Lads, welcome. Eric Blue, Chris, Matty, Podfather, Bobby, and Nick. Lads, welcome to the stream. Let me hear it. Your thoughts and opinions about the performance tonight. Let me hear it.
Okay, Eric, do you want to go first or?
No, go ahead.
Okay, right. First of all, pleased to be back on the Blue Lounge, the best Chelsea fan channel on YouTube. Mo, Eric, Bobby, Matty, Pod, Nick, and everyone in the chat. Hope everyone is well. It was just good today to watch a good game of football. Actually, it was very, very good performance. Very, very professional performance, and it was just good to watch a game of football instead of talking about ownership. It can be tiresome talking about ownership, so it was just good to watch the mighty Chelsea play Middlesbrough. I was very surprised at the way Middlesbrough played, to be fair, because look, I know it's Middlesbrough and Chelsea are expected to beat them, but as you say, Mo, they have beat Tottenham and they have beat Man United. Those sides were also expected to beat Middlesbrough, so yeah, I was very surprised at the way Middlesbrough performed, especially defensively, because Chris Wilder, I rate Chris Wilder highly in terms of the way he sets up his teams defensively, compact. But to be honest, Middlesbrough were quite all over the place, to be fair, so I was very surprised at that. But Chelsea's performance made them with that, because Ziyech, Mason Mount with his hair, Prince Charming, Lukaku performed. Look, I love to admit when I'm wrong. Lukaku performed well today. I just want him to keep it up because he's a good player. Not once I ever said he's not a good player. Lukaku is a good player, but for the large majority of the season, he's been poor. But I want him to keep it up. Hopefully, this gives him a bit of confidence now to push on and performing, in the league. So yeah, another trip to Wembley, which is good. Semi-finals. We'll probably play, if Liverpool get past Nottingham Forest tomorrow. Probably not. Probably Liverpool, but who knows? Get revenge on them after we got cheated out of the League Cup final. And also, I just want to touch on this guy called Steve Gibson. All week he was giving it the big one, wasn't he? Chelsea don't have sporting integrity. Where was your integrity on the pitch today, mate? Yeah, where was your integrity? Because I seen nothing from Middlesbrough. Yeah. And also, look, they're sponsored by 32 Red. I mean, is that morals? A betting company on your shirt. You want to talk about morals? See, some people, if you live in glass houses, don't throw stones. As simple as that. But overall, Mo, very good performance today. Very good performance. Big up to the fans at the Riverside as well, because proper supporters there, respecting them.
Nice atmosphere. I really liked it.
Abdul said something about how did they get tickets? Because they bought the tickets before Roman got sanctioned. That's why. So that's how they
Yeah.
got in. But yeah, overall, lads, good performance. On to it's now the international break, isn't it? It's the international break now, so a bit of rest. So yeah, up the Chelsea.
I think we've got one more fixture before the international
Have
break.
we?
I'll have to double check. I think so. I'll double check. I'll double check. I think it might be international break actually. I think it might be. Look, before we continue, lads, we are just over 200 subscribers away from smashing 10,000 subscribers. We are 200 subscribers away from that big milestone. And I say big, for me, it's a massive one. The Blue Lounge was born literally 2 years and 1 month ago. 2 years and 1 month ago. 25 months old. And for us to be knocking on the door of 10,000 subscribers is a massive achievement. So do me a favor. If you're watching this stream and you haven't subscribed, help me reach that milestone. Help your fellow Chelsea fan reach that milestone by hitting that subscribe button. I know some of you like to watch my streams, but you just wait for it to be recommended. Do me a favor and do yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button. And if you've already subscribed and you got mates who are Chelsea fans who are not watching this channel, tell them, share it with them, share it on your social media platforms. Let's get this milestone out of the way and we can then focus on hitting that 20k milestone. You can do it. It really is down to you. You've got me this far and you can push me over that milestone. So big up to everyone who is currently subscribed. And for those of you who haven't subscribed and will subscribe, I want to say thank you in advance for you hitting that subscribe button. Eric Blue, Chelsea made it look easy, right?
That was a breeze. No, it was never in doubt. I was expecting a very comfortable result. Yeah, I mean, I can't say too much more. Yeah, the ball, we were giving the ball away a little bit sloppy at times. I think that's just normal. We just were far superior. I think the guys, Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker, I think they got the analysis spot on. We're just way too good for a team like Middlesbrough, and the chances of us bottling it like some other teams were very low. So yeah, but for me, all this is well and good, but it's about winning. This will mean nothing if we get to the final and we lose again. So I really would like to win a domestic cup because it's been too long. The last one was 2018. So hopefully we get to the final again, and we need to get over the line. I think the players, they know how important it is. Mount was talking about it after the match, and he was very much involved in our last domestic cup final, and I'm pretty sure he wants to right those wrongs. So it's fantastic from the players, fantastic mentality, not letting the things around the club distract them. Just doing their jobs so well. In the time that all of this happened, all the controversial news and everything, and the uncertainty, we've had one of our best runs. We've won so many games, kept a lot of clean sheets. It's looking very good. It's looking very good. We're not in a top four scrap. We're just not. Uh, we will hopefully finish this season strong. That's what I'm looking forward to, and we have a chance to win at least one of, the remaining three trophies available to us. So hopefully we do it. Hopefully we get over the line, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting developments towards the end of the season.
I'm sure there will be. I want to ask you guys a question, and whoever wants to answer this, go right ahead. And lads, Nick Blue, DJ Sav, lads, today is an open debate, so whoever wants to jump in, whoever wants to give me their thoughts, don't wait for a turn. Just let it flow. Lads, explain to me this: the chemistry that has been, or that was seen today by Ziyech and Mason Mount, I kind of seen it develop over the past few games when they've played together. Today, it really synced well. And I think the formation, the back four, played a big part of that. I want to know what you guys think. What was it? Was it the formation? Was it the opposition? Was it Mason Mount just waking up and connecting with Ziyech? Why was it so nice? Why was it so good? What changed? What happened?
Maybe the opposition. Maybe the opposition. I think maybe because of the championship level, it might have given us a little bit more. I think maybe we might have rested a little bit better as well before the game. Who knows? I think, to be fair, we had so much pressure as well, because don't forget, this is a team that has not only knocked out Manchester United, but it's also knocked out Tottenham as well. So I think we went there to prove a point that obviously, okay, they're giant killers, but obviously we're champions of Europe. We wanted to show that, and not just that. We only had 600 people in that stadium. They had the whole stadium full, so we had to play with a bit of noise. So, and to be fair, we showed up. To be fair, so But
yeah, I mean, Matty, I totally agree with you in regards to Manchester United, but in regards to Tottenham, they get battered everywhere they go. So it's just the norm for them, right?
I think the in terms of Mason Mount, the formation definitely helped. I think this role that he played, he hasn't played it too much, so it was basically he played as I think they said the formation was 4-4-1-1, and so he basically played as a number 10. A sole number 10 rather than somebody next to him and they have to share the position or whatever. Ziyech maintained his position on the right and Pulisic was on the left. So we played with proper width today, which gave him a lot of space in the middle. And then also, people may not agree, but I think even having Lukaku as a stationary number 9 helps him because it's somebody to play off, not somebody has to combine or have his job into the same space as him or whatever. Even though he did that excellently with Havertz against Norwich. But I think the formation played. He's definitely been on form the last 3 games. I think it's clear to see that he's starting to find that form and energy. Like he was running all game pretty much. Like he never stopped running, tackling. His fitness looks like similar to how it was last season. Probably his fitness in the last couple of games for me has probably been the best he's been all season. It just in terms of like constant running, never looks tired. Actually beating players, actually showing a bit of pace and going past guys and trickery, the touch. I think he's just on top form now. And I think he combined well with Ziyech today, but then he combined very well with Havertz against Norwich. So I think it's more about him and the form he's in. I want to see it against better opposition. I think Middlesbrough gave us a lot of space in that midfield. Like if you look at even when for the goal. It was pretty much emptied when he plays the ball to Ziyech. So they didn't really have like somebody just to sit on him. So it'll be interesting to see when we play better opposition when they delegate someone to like man mark him or sit on him, whether he's still able to have that impact. But I think what we can be happy is that he just looks like he's coming into form, and it won't be a temporary thing, but like hopefully can continue for the rest of the season.
Yep. Nick, just before you jump in, I can confirm the international break has started. So we'll be back on the 2nd of April, on Saturday the 2nd of April, playing against Brentford. And then we have Real Madrid in the Champions League. So that is where we are. International break has started. We've got Brentford on the 2nd, and then Real Madrid in the Champions League, and then Southampton. So it's a good time for us to kind of wind down, I guess, with in regards to football, because we've had such a lot of pressure on us recently that it's fantastic that we've been able to maintain this good form, this winning run. I think the only game we lost is Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final, and it was on penalties, and it was, after 22 kicks, 22 penalty shots, and we all remember what Kepa did. And by the way, Kepa missed the game because he's ill. He wasn't dropped; he was ill, and that's why he wasn't playing today. So it's a really, really good time for us to take a break from football and to try to focus on the club moving forward. Nick, I cut you off. I apologize. Let me hear your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, great performance today. I thought it was much better than the Lille game, the performance, especially from Mason Mount. I'm glad to see he's back, the Mason we know. And because of Mason Mount, play, you can see what happens with Lukaku. Because he can, when he wants to, he does cross that ball, and Lukaku had a few chances when he was crossing, and he got one. And Lukaku, showed what Lukaku is today. So stop, people, still call him Lukaku for some stupid reason. I just want them to stop calling him names. He's one of our players, like I keep saying. Yeah, great performance. Ziyech, really good.
So,
great
Nick,
goal.
I just want to interrupt you for 1 second. If you disrespect a Chelsea player in that manner, you're disrespecting the club that you allegedly support. That's what I'm saying. If you disrespect one of our players, you're disrespecting our club. So, are you a true fan?
Yeah, but they say they're true fans, Mo. That's what gets me. They like to take, it's with Lukaku since he came here. It's not just after the interview. Since he came here, you hear all this rubbish. I hate that. It really gets me.
Lukaku, listen, Nick, you brought this up, so I'm going to address it. Lukaku is a player who I had a lot of expectations for. I really thought Lukaku was going to come in and tear the Premier League a new one. Seriously, I thought this guy was, he was there. Because of what I saw of him in Inter Milan, I thought this guy, had turned it around. So when he came in, I had high hopes for him. What I saw from him wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't what I was expecting. I saw that, maybe it's, he needs a bit of time to adjust the style of play, whatnot, and, this and that. But then his interview happened. And that destroyed so much of the hard work that he had put in, because he had put in a lot of hard work, and he did get COVID. He was injured, and he came back getting 2 goals back to back, and then that interview came out, and everything was destroyed. Now, is Lukaku able to turn it around? I hope so. I want him to turn it around, because right now, this guy is a massive investment. And under the current circumstances and the situation we're in, I'm not sure what alternatives we have. So he does need to turn it around. And us Chelsea fans, we need to to want him to turn it around, because if he doesn't, we're in trouble.
Yeah, and like yourself, how I felt about Lukaku from the beginning. I had every trust in him. I thought he was like you. He was going to be great from the start, but things happened, and he lost his confidence. He had he lost a lot of confidence. But today I could see him, running more, winning tackles, and being at the right place at the right time. So let's hope he continues for him. And overall, Thiago Silva, what a player, what a rock. He's unbelievable, this guy. So, you can't say anymore. I think he's our player of the season. Easy player of the season for me. And Rudiger is Rudiger. They all played well. Rudiger.
Nick, 1 second. I have spoken to someone who is in the know. I have spoken to someone who is in the know, and they have told me that Rudiger does not want to leave Chelsea Football Club. The links of him to Juventus and the talks between his camp and Juventus, there's a lot going on. However, Tony Rudiger, if he is able to sign for Chelsea Football Club, he will sign for Chelsea Football Club. His wages were agreed with the previous or with the current administration. If the new administration, and as from what we've heard, every party has said they want to get Rudiger to sign. So if they will honour what was agreed in regards to his wages by the previous administration and come to an agreement on his signing on fee, Tony Rudiger will be a Chelsea player next season. And I've heard this from someone who is in the know. So I want everyone to feel comfortable and confident in respect to Tony Rudiger. And I think what he is doing on that football pitch, his body language, his commitment to the club is for all of us to see. For all of us to see. If he wasn't happy, if he wasn't so, focused, we'd see it. Christensen is an example. Great player, but you can tell that he isn't playing with the same motivation as Tony Rudiger. So I'm just saying, be confident that if things work out well when it comes to the bid for Chelsea, the handover of the club, Tony Rudiger will still be here next season. And people, we will be talking about the other bits and bobs regarding Chelsea Football Club in about half an hour, 45 minutes. We just want to give a bit of time to address this fantastic result. Nick, do you have anything else to add before I can move to DJ and Bobby?
About
go ahead.
Rudiger, I said it from the start about this contract. I was confident, months ago he's going to sign. I'm still confident. In the end, he will sign. And, that talk from Italy, that's a lot of rubbish. That's all media speculation about Juventus. So, like yourself, I'm sure he will sign. And like I said, great game. And Thomas Tuchel, what a manager, what a person. His press conference before the game and after the game was, spot on. He's always spot on. And if you saw the press conference before, he was saying how much he loves Chelsea, and he will be committed to Chelsea as long as they want him, and that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, I'm actually just waiting for the post-match press conference to be published because I'm looking for it. It's still not published, so once it is published, I will share it with you guys and we can watch it and then address it together. Let me go to Bobby and then we'll go to DJ Sav. Bobby, give me your thoughts on this performance, mate. Bobby, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hang on, let me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Right. I can hear
you. Yeah. I mean, look, this and anything Chelsea do from here on in is all about application. And the boys are really applying themselves well. What's happening this season could potentially be, perhaps, in fact, not perhaps, could potentially be the greatest season of this club's entire existence. And why do I say this? The club came under attack. The fans, my God, Chelsea football fans are second to none. Even some of the people that I felt were wishy-washy fans, the way we all stood together globally and pushed back this ridiculous attack on our club, it has actually affected the media. The media that's been so hostile, I think they thought again and thought, whoa, these people are everywhere. We stuck together because we're a family, and the passion we feel for our club is second to none. And then the players, the manager. And I tell you what, if by some ridiculous miracle we walk away with the FA Cup and the Champions League, looking at the kind of run-in that we've got in that competition, and probably in this competition as well, it will be the greatest season we have ever had. The first job, whatever happens, the first job of the new owners is to consolidate this team. You've got to consolidate the key players. Rudiger, Aspie, forget their age. Thiago's already consolidated. Kante, even with you've got to keep this team, because what they've shown me is that they are really a great team. Can you imagine these lads were prepared to chip in and pay for their own flights wherever they go? Wow. Awesome stuff. I'm so proud of my club. I'm so proud of my club.
Yeah, no, spot on. Look, when you go through hardship, when you go through stress, when you go through a rough time, and you're able to turn it around in your own profession, in your own area, it shows what we're all about. Because right now, these boys on the pitch, they're doing it for us. I'll tell you something else. Everyone within Chelsea Football Club is working extra hard right now. Not just the boys on the pitch, the training staff, the administration people, the people who work in the offices, the stewards, the ticketing staff, us people in the Chelsea community, you guys, the fans, we are all working overtime right now because look, end of the day, Chelsea Football Club is us.
Yeah.
We are Chelsea Football Club. Every single one of us represents Chelsea Football Club. And right now, our club is going through a very, very hard time, tough period. And this is when we all have to try to stick together and, support each other. And, the boys on that pitch are a clear role model for all of us. Look, our backs are against the walls, and our backs are against the wall, and we will not bow down to the pressure. None of our fans can come. No. We don't care. We're gonna turn these Middlesbrough fans as Chelsea supporters. All right, we're gonna put a performance in that pitch that will reach our fans wherever they are.
Yep.
We're gonna make our fans happy. They couldn't be here in the stadium with us. We'll make them happy because guess what? We're taking them to Wembley. That's what we're gonna do.
Did you see that old geezer with the Chelsea scarf? I don't know if you watched the game on Match of the Day. They had this old geezer with the Chelsea scarf they kept showing in our thin blue line of 600. Incredible stuff. That spirit, the way we've kicked back at the media, some of them have just been forced to shut up. They can't even go on social media because Chelsea fans have come together. I mean, I as I said, I am so impressed. So impressed. Some of the people I thought were weak fans, the way they've come out smoking for this club. Wow. Don't take us on. We're bigger than they even think. And when we come through this, it's probably going to set us to yet another level.
Definitely. I'm positive. And I am. What's the word here? I have this enthusiasm and this belief that whatever is going to be thrown against us, whatever corner they're going to push us in, we're going to come back, we're going to bounce back, and we're going to overcome all of these challenges. Before I go to DJ Sav, we have the first appearance, the debut of Jester, aka Uncle Jester, on the Blue Lounge. My brother, welcome to the channel. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I listen, I've been watching you on various different platforms, and I've been waiting for you to turn up here, mate. So I'm happy to see you on the Blue Lounge. I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think we started off really well, and once we got up, we kind of took our foot off the gas. I think everybody had some commitments in their international breaks, so I don't think they wanted to go too too full out. I have some feedback. Anybody got? Oh,
You're clear. Your audio is clear.
yeah, I know. I think somebody's got. I can hear somebody. I can hear myself in somebody else's audio.
Okay. Does anybody else have feedback? I don't know. Is it just or does somebody else have feedback? What's the audio like, guys? Audio is good, guys?
I think the audio
Yeah,
is
mine's
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah, mine's all right.
It might be maybe it's the volume of your headphones more.
Okay.
I think like we're hearing the loudness of your headphones. while
My
you're
headphones?
listening. Yeah.
You can hear my headphones on this? Wow.
Wow, that's impressive.
What about now? Can you still hear feedback?
No.
No, I can't hear
No.
it. No, it's
No,
going.
no
All right,
feedback.
now I can barely hear anything in my headphones, but we'll carry on.
You blew out your ears, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, go ahead, Jester. Go ahead, carry on.
So it was, like I said, they, you have Christian Pulisic going to a very important game on Wednesday, and after he went down, I don't think he really was too bothered about putting 100% in after that. I know it's horrible to say, but he's got to be in Mexico City on Wednesday, and Jorginho wasn't even there specifically because he's playing for Italy. Tuchel came out and said that, so which is understandable. You shouldn't need everybody to beat Middlesbrough, and if you do, you're called United or Tottenham. But what can we say? After that, I thought we would kick on and score some more goals. I predicted a 5-0, and after 31 minutes, it was looking like it could be a 5-0. But and at the end, it's about advancing to the next round, and it's exactly what we've done. And nobody's injured, nobody's been red carded, nobody's in trouble being suspended, so we're all good.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to our Wembley fixture. Middlesbrough, like I said earlier, they beat Manchester United, and that was a good achievement on their behalf. And Tottenham get battered everywhere they go, so that wasn't really too surprising. But we keep on going. DJ Sav, I do apologize for letting Jester cut in, but
That's all right.
But he's a guest, and we have to give. I mean, he's a guest for today. After today, he'll be just like everybody else. So no favoritism. But the first day, we have to give the VIP treatment. So DJ, big up to you, my brother. I hope you're doing good.
Yeah, but, I'm good, bro.
Give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, listen, we got the job done, mate. That's what counts. We got the job done. Obviously, like just as you said, I thought when we scored the first goal, I thought we were going to try and get more goals. We got the second goal. I thought we were going to get more, but I can't complain, mate. We went out there, we done the job, beat Middlesbrough. We move on to the next round. Very proud of the plays. And Bobby said something earlier on about Thiago. I think someone mentioned Thiago Silva. Look, the guy plays like he's 27 years old. Who would believe the guy's 37, mate? His reading of the game today, mate, and just generally his reading of the game, mate, is unbelievable. And I know people try to do this comparison of Liverpool centre back and him. For me, look, I think he's a better centre back overall. He's just everywhere, and that's why he got deserved man of the match today. So I couldn't be any prouder, mate. Very proud of my team. And just one thing, Mo, the post match is just about to begin, but his post match is just about to come soon. You were asking for it, Thomas Tuchel.
Hasn't it not been recorded yet?
I think Sky. I've just watching it on Sky now. They're saying he's coming. Thomas Tuchel's post match next. I don't know if he's already done it yet or not. I don't know. But it's
okay. Yeah, I mean, it's normally published an hour after the game, and it's coming to 2 hours now, and I still can't find it.
He may have done it. He may have done it.
He may have done it. Yeah, he may have done it. Because it's not. Yeah, I mean, I've seen post-match interviews, but not the actual presser. So once I see the presser, I will share it with everyone. All right, listen, lads. Let me address this to you guys, and then if by the time we finish this discussion and it hasn't come out, we'll jump over and discuss the other bits of news. In regards to Chelsea performance today in regards to the morale of the squad, the morale of the team. Do you guys think that all of this has strengthened the squad, strengthened the team? And we were talking about, and I asked Podfather this, the chemistry that we've seen between Hakim Ziyech and Mason Mount. And do you guys think the performance had incorporated in it some of the challenges, the mentality that we have to win, we got to keep winning, we got to keep fighting, we got to keep making a stance because of what is going on off the pitch? Did you guys sense that? Do you guys feel that? I mean,
Can I come in on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Since the sanctions were put on us, we've just been on a different level, mentality-wise and confidence-wise. And it looks like I said it, a few games ago. We are on a mission at the moment. The mission is to win the FA Cup and retain the Champions League. And I can see it from the players, the way they look and apply themselves just shows, and it shows with Tuchel as well. We are on a mission, and the mission hopefully will conclude with 2 more trophies, and then we really will shut up the media and everyone else. They won't know what to say.
I think we've done that already, Nick.
But we will shut them up completely, and that's what they deserve. Yeah.
Now, you know what? I can care less what the media's got to say about Chelsea. Simple as that. The media need to look at themselves. Look, what these players have showed is they've showed.
Chris, sorry, Chris. 1 second. Just so you know, he is speaking English. But he's from Scotland. He's from Scotland.
Oh, I got that. No,
all right.
So basically,
carry on. Sorry, Chris. Carry on, brother.
Jester, if you need a translator, ask Mo. Yeah. So basically, in terms of the players, look, the players they've showed that they're not cowards. You know what I mean? They've showed that. Okay, put the pressure on us. Yeah, you want to have a target us. You want to attack us. Bring it on. Simple as that. We'll do our saying on the pitch, and we'll shut you up. Look at Newcastle. They were giving it the big one about Mike Ashley's coming for you, and the Chelsea fans replied with Boris Johnson, he's coming for you. It's a banter. It's banter. That's fine. But the players have showed that they play for Chelsea Football Club, and they've shown, you know what? Bring it on. Bring it on. Simple as that. They've showed they've got kahunas. Okay, they've shown they have it. They've got the spirit and the fight to play for Chelsea. So the media can say whatever they want. It's clear it's not having an effect on the players because look at the performances. We're grinding out wins. Some of the performances have been
Chris, it is having an effect. Yeah, but it's not having the effect that they want. Yeah, it's not what they want. It's what. Yeah, exactly.
With the media, what they've been saying is they're thinking it's going to have a negative effect. They think, if we say this and we leak some stories about whatever Rudiger not signing a contract or whatever, yeah. Because I seen today he's going to Juve, but that's all the rubbish. But
that's what they wanted, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what they wanted.
Will have an effect that will bring the performances down, and it won't. So that's the way it is. We're Chelsea Football Club, mate. Yeah, nothing you can say will affect us. Simple as that.
Yeah. Chris
go ahead.
Got me hyped up. He's got me hyped up. I'm ready to invade.
Come
England
on, Jester,
now.
let's go.
Let's invade England. No, he got the Braveheart speech. It's prime Mel Gibson right there. William Wallace done it. No, I'm just kidding.
Freedom, mate. Freedom. That's what it is.
Freedom. That's what I'm talking about. No, look. When this happens, it can go one of 2 ways. Either the players can down tools and say, "Oh, well, we got to look for something else," or they can come together as brothers and play for each other. You're not playing for the club right now. You're not playing for the owner. You're playing for the brother next to you. And that's what they've done. They've come together and say, I'll pick you up. You pick me up. We're going to go about this together because it affects all of us equally. And so it's us against everybody else. And if that is sunk in, this is going to be a dangerous, dangerous team going forward because you've now got everybody playing as one. All right, you're always going to have somebody yelling at somebody during the game, but that's just passion for wanting to do well. But if they're together like that, everybody better watch out. Champions League, who says no to repeat? Right now, I think that we're being written off again, even though we're the cup holders. Nobody gives us a chance. I think we're at a 9% chance to win out of the last 8. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about any team that's left in this competition. Bayern Munich can't play defense. Man City, you can hit them on transition. Don't play defense. Liverpool sometimes have problems scoring and don't play defense. Virgil van Dijk has to be the most overrated defensive back I have ever seen. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm not worried about these teams. I think if Chelsea Football Club show up and do what we can do, then there's no problem. Especially when you have Reece James coming back.
Yeah. I want. Listen. I wanted to go to this topic later on, but since we haven't got the press conference, we might as well head to it right now. We haven't really addressed the Champions League draw since it happened. Lads, we have a tough draw ahead of us. The Real Madrid is a team that we have beaten. Real Madrid is a team that has never beaten us, all right? But their current form, their current performances in the Champions League, Paris Saint-Germain, Benzema looks on fire. So are you guys worried? Do you guys think we have what it takes to do this? Because I like Jester. I think Chelsea could potentially, do a madness, back-to-back titles.
Yeah.
We could emulate what Nottingham Forest did in the old format, and win the Champions League, or at the time European Cup, back-to-back, and under these circumstances. What an achievement! What an achievement! Do you guys think we can do it? I mean, realistically,
Of course,
I want to hear what you guys think.
I mean, look, obviously, I don't want to keep going to this prediction, but I did predict we'd get Real Madrid, and I wanted it. You know what? When people were saying, "Oh, let's get Benfica, Villarreal," bring it on. No, bring any team on. Simple as that. I keep saying bring it on because I mean it. Bring it on. If it's Man City in the semis, which it probably will be, or if it's Atletico, or if we play Liverpool or Bayern in the final, I'm not bothered. Bring it on, okay? Because Real Madrid last season, right? We smashed them. Yeah, and Madrid fans were saying it's injuries. Oh, we've got Ramos was out. Okay, what's your excuse going to be this time when Chelsea smash you? What's your excuse going to be? Because I don't want to hear about excuses. So, Mo, yes, we will. I think we can. Will we? You know what? I'll make a prediction. Yes, we will. We will get that third Champions League. And but it's a tough tie. Ancelotti, quality manager. I love the guy. Benzema, look, he got Madrid out the mud against PSG. So yeah, Madrid are a quality side, but so are we, and that's what people need to realise. But they won't say it because there's an agenda against Chelsea. So yeah, we can do it. That third Champions League will be won in Paris. Mark my words.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. And look at Real Madrid fans. They didn't want Chelsea. The one team they didn't want was us, because we have a great history against them. A great history since the 70s. And, bring them on, like you said, I'm very confident. I said we have to win it, we have to play the best. So it doesn't matter when we play them. Bring them, the sooner the better. So once we get rid of Madrid, then, then we can go on. And I really, really do think we can do it. And we're going to win this Champions League for Roman Abramovich, because he's a big legend for us. And
Nick, you keep getting me in trouble, man. You keep getting me in trouble. Leave Roman Abramovich out of this, man. Let the poor guy sell the club. Let him sell the club in peace.
Roman is a god to us. Roman will have a statue.
No. Don't.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Ukraine.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
Hold on, it has nothing to do with
No. Listen. You can't make that comparison because, as far as I'm concerned, that's blasphemy. All right, I am not having and I'm not tolerating that kind of comparison. All right.
Yeah,
no, I don't because look, Nick, you're talking to hundreds of people here. Yeah, so
for us,
no, for you.
So
For you.
probably a lot of thousands like me. Don't worry.
Yeah,
And,
for you. Listen, Roman Abramovich, what he has done for Chelsea Football Club, like I have said, will never ever be forgotten. All right, but we need to be careful in the statements that we make because we don't want to be putting unwanted attention right now. So right. Like I know Matty is just dying to jump on and give me his thoughts. So let's give the geezer a chance.
Let me one second, Matt. 1 second. So the things since the sanctions, since they got rid of him. They, banned him from the bridge and everything. I think the players and Tuchel are really up for it. And Marina and Czech, everyone's together, and they want to win it badly. It's for him as well, not just for us.
All right. Matt, let me hear your thoughts and opinions, mate.
Do you know what? I mean, if we're going to win a title, we're going to win it the hard way, aren't we? Don't forget, this is almost like a repeat of last year because we had Atletico Madrid, we had Real Madrid, but then we also had Atletico Madrid, and then we then had Man City, and then we then went on to Man City. I think the only danger for us is Man City afterwards, and whoever we get in that final. So, I mean, it's either going to be Liverpool. I think it's either Liverpool or Bayern Munich, isn't it?
Yeah, so, possibly. Yeah.
I mean, anybody that's not scared of Man City or Bayern Munich, I think you might be counting your chickens before they hatch, really, because I think Man City are the only ones competitively that have had us in their back pocket. So Man City are a tough team. Bayern Munich equally are a good team. I think Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool would want to go up against us. But then again, Liverpool are a good tactically run team as well. We've got 3 good tactically run teams there. So, I mean, I say bring it on. I mean, there's nothing that can stop us by saying that we can't beat them or we can't get to the final. But I think we have to show respect to our rivals on that part.
Is it a realistic ambition?
I think you can have realistic ambition and you can have ambition, but then you have to have a form of realism. And in my opinion, the way that you see the way they're playing at the moment, I think we can easily beat Real Madrid. We've beaten them twice on the bounce. We can beat them again. And if we beat Atletico, if they beat Man City, we'll beat them again. But you have to have some form of realism, and Bayern Munich are a tough team. Man City are a tough team. And Liverpool, if people don't believe it or not, are a tough team. They're challenging for first place. So you've got to kind of respect the rivals on that part, but that's just my opinion. So
does that make does that make it more difficult for them to actually go all out in the Champions League because they'll be also having fixtures? And I think the Liverpool Man City fixture falls right in between I think either their first tie against Atletico Madrid or against us. If we get through, it would be against us. So they can't just say, okay, the league's either wrapped up or not wrapped, or Liverpool won't be going for the title, so they'll be just focusing on the Champions League. Now they have to focus on the Premier League and the Champions League. So does that make it harder for those two teams?
Yeah, I think it makes it harder for Man City, definitely. Obviously because they have to play the Atletico game in the middle, and I think they have a tough game against Wolves even after the other ones. They're going to have to rotate their squad. I don't think it's a given that we face Man City. I think Atletico might surprise a few people. You know, when you look at the lineup, we're talking about managers that have been to, I think in total, if you look at everybody, they've been to let me see, 13 finals between them. That's the caliber of managers left in the competition. Ancelotti's won it 3 times, probably the most out of everybody left. Klopp's been to 3 finals. Guardiola's been he's won it twice. Tuchel's been to 2 finals. Simeone's been to 2 finals. You know, so this is no easy feat. You know, so when people say, "Oh, it's going to be hard," it's going to be extremely hard. It's not just a matter of like top teams, but like these are teams that have been to the final, knows what it takes to win this competition, and managers, you know, losing managers who won it even more than once. So, you know, it's going to be very tough. I think it depends on the injury situation come those ties. Like people forget last year we had our fullbacks, we had Chilwell, we had Rich James. You know, we had pretty much a fully fit squad. Down the run. So injuries are definitely going to play a big part. Am I confident? Yeah, I'm always confident. I always think we can pull it. We can pull it up. And I actually like the underdog position because I think that's when we rise to the occasion. I don't like it when we're favorites going into these ties because then, you know, sometimes the pressure is on and we fail to deliver. Now, obviously, the odds are against us because no English team has ever won the Champions League back to back. So this would be a first in this modern format. I mean.
The modern format, correct?
Yes, in this modern format, it's never been done. In fact, no other team apart from Real Madrid has won it back to back in this new format. So it would be amazing and it would be historic. I just want to take it game by game. So I'm not going to make a prediction about the Champions League because I really don't know. But what I would say about the Real Madrid side, I think it's 50-50 now. They're a different team from what they were last year. They're going to be at home the second leg at the Bernabeu. It's going to be very different. People should just forget last year's game. It's going to have no bearing on this one for me. It's going to be a whole new. It's a different manager. They play a different way. We are a different team, I think, as well. We're not as kamikaze as we were in. If you remember the last time, it was pretty much just. I think it was like a rainstorm. It was like a tornado almost at their ground. It was raining. It was just a crazy game of back to forth and all that. So I think it's going to be very tactical. I don't think Ancelotti is going to be, you know, I think defensively he's going to have his team better set up than Zidane. So for me, it's a 50-50. And depending on injuries and the state of the squad there, yeah, it would be excellent if we won. But I'm not going to put that pressure on us because, like I said, only one team is, apart from, in fact, only Real Madrid, have gone back to back. So it'll be a very hard feat.
I think it's even ridiculous that we're talking about the Champions League right now. It makes no sense. You know, it's equally as ridiculous talking about the FA Cup. Yes, it's something that, you know, by some miracle we'd like to see happen. But the current reality for us and for every other team is the next game. For us, I think we need to focus on our fitness. Once we focus on our fitness and focus on our game, we should fear nobody. I don't do fear. You know, that's one thing I have never done. I know it is very difficult with the teams ahead, but we have quality as well. And we have no reason to fear anybody. We take it a game at a time. The next game,
Bobby, let me interrupt you for 1 second. I know what you're saying, and this is the manager's mentality. This is what managers always tell us. Yeah. The most important game is the next game coming. We don't, look past that. But do you think that's how we're going to be approaching this, Bobby? I mean, is that how you think we are going to be approaching this, or do you think
there is no
there's goals elsewhere?
There's no other way. Right. Because every team we meet now, even in the FA Cup semi-final, is going to be a strong team. So we have to take it one game at a time. We have no other choice. There's just no other way of taking it. Unless in between with league games, if we have a tough league game, then we have to maybe plan how we field our players. But the watchword going forward is the fitness of the squad and the application of the squad. So far, we've been applying ourselves well. We still need to apply ourselves better. And I think we'll be all right. If we have that mentality, fitness is the issue for us. But if we have the mentality of one game at a time and our application on the day, if Chelsea apply themselves to their full potential as they do sometimes on the day, others will fear us. Trust me, including Man City, especially Man City, because they know what we can do.
Bobby, when we play Real Madrid, potentially we will have new owners.
Hopefully.
Will there be a bounce, do you reckon?
No.
A new owners bounce, if there is such a thing?
Well, some players may be playing for an extended contract, for sure. If the contracts wouldn't be extended already, but at that time, who knows? But there will always be another little spring in your step because it's a new opportunity, it's new ground, it's a fresh start. It's like having a new manager. So that will permeate right the way through the club and even to the manager, because the manager will want to impress his new boss or bosses, as the case may be, as well. But we're focused anyway. And, the issue right the way through the club has to be stick together, work together, train together where the players are concerned. Fitness. And we've got no reason to fear anybody. Just get out there and take them on. And that's just how we have to look at it. You can run, but you can't hide. At this point of the season, you are going to face the best. And to be the best, you have to beat the best.
Yeah, true. Look, I want to address two more points. Before I do, I just want to see if we've got any likes. Has anybody liked the stream? Doesn't look like anybody's hit the like button. Why is that? Why do I only have 55 likes? What's going on? I've got 55 likes. People, why? Are you not enjoying the stream? Is my stream not good enough for you? Is my panel not good enough for you? I mean, if my panel's not good enough for you, I can change the panel. I can find new panelists, but do me a favor, lads. Hit the like button. I would very much appreciate it if you can hit that like button. And if you're new, consider subscribing. We are close to hitting that 10,000 subscriber milestone. So do us a favor. If you're new, subscribe. And if you're enjoying the banter, the discussion, the debate, hit that like button. Look, we're going to talk about two more topics. I want to talk about the potential new owners based on the information that we heard yesterday and today. And then I want to talk about the development of Stamford Bridge or actually, we'll make it wider. The potential development of Stamford Bridge or the relocation of the stadium. What's going to happen moving forward? I know I've got a couple of season ticket holders in the chat. Governor, big up to you. DJ Sav, where did DJ Sav go? DJ Sav was here a second ago. So I'd love to know your opinions on this in the chat. And also, if you want to jump on the panel, I'm actually going to put the link in the chat if anybody wants to jump on and give me their thoughts and opinions. Before I put the link, I want to just add some. I want to give you guys a twist in respect to what we've heard today, in respect to one of the potential new owners, one of the bidders, and that was Nick Candy. We've heard today that he may have been, he was at a dinner engagement the night of the invasion of Ukraine. And he may have been, allegedly, discussing the impact of the invasion of Ukraine in respect to Chelsea Football Club and Roman Abramovich. What impact is this going to have on the club? Now, a discussion of that nature within the halls of government, because apparently this dinner was held by the Tory party, the Conservative Party, could have ramifications on the decision whether or not to sell the club to him by the current owner. We've also heard about the potential racist allegations. Well, they're not really allegations; they're facts. But them being brought up in respect to the Ricketts family. We also know that the bid by the Saudi media group could face a long-winded process in it being accepted. I want to hear from you guys your opinion. Where do you think it's gonna go? This deal, how is it gonna pan out? Yesterday, I had on the show Rob Prattley, a very connected journalist who gave us a very good insight in respect to this whole situation. So you all know, you've all heard, you've all read, you've all seen what's going on. I'd like to hear from you, your opinions in respect to this matter. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go around the board. So I'll give each one of you a couple of minutes to give me your opinions, and then we'll open it to a discussion. And I'm going to start with Nick Blue, as he was... with Eric Blue, because I haven't heard from him for a minute. So I'll start with Eric Blue. I'll work my way around the board. So Eric, take us away.
Yeah, I heard about this earlier. I think it was either earlier today or yesterday. It sounds controversial. It doesn't sound right. I'm not sure how the information got out, but I don't think I can't see things going out, working out for Mr. Candy and his group that he set up, his consortium. I don't think it's going to, he's not going to be able to proceed with his desire to own the club, or buy the club. I don't think it's going to
Nick,
work out fine.
you don't think it's going to happen because of the decision that will be taken by Roman and the Rain Group, or is there a different reason for it?
Yeah, so there are different reasons. I can't remember who was saying it, but I don't think that I don't really know what he's doing with the various partners who he has brought together. I'm not really following. I think it was Bobby who was talking about it. It's not. Yeah, it's something doesn't seem right. It seems all over the place. I'm not too sure how he intends to make it work with these these interested parties who are going to invest potentially. So I think there's more than one reason, but for sure, there's no way that Roman wouldn't have found out about this news. And if he does have some kind of involvement, which I believe he does, I don't think he will allow Mr. Candy to own the club. I don't think he will allow it to happen.
From what I understand, and from what I've heard from multiple people who are linked to this and are in the know about this, is Roman Abramovich does have the final say on who owns the club after him. So that is a fact. Nick Candy, him kissing up to the government, him being so involved with the organization that is sanctioning him, sanctioning Roman, doesn't look too good for him. Eric, thank you for that. I'm going to go Chris, Jester, Chris, Jester, Nick, Matty, Podfather, and Bobby. Chris, let me hear
it. Yeah. Nick Candy, obviously, this party they had. Look, the Tories are liking to have a few parties these days, don't they? A few cheese and wine parties. That's what the Tories like to do. Nick Candy, for me, yeah, I think that's just shot him in the foot, big time. There was a lot of positive talk about him, what he was promising. I think this is a big issue, in my opinion. So I don't. To be fair, I've never seen him being the owner anyway. I think it's between the Saudi media group and Todd Bowley. But anything in football can surprise you, so I'm not sure. In terms of the Ricketts family, look, what they've said is an absolute disgrace. To be fair, what they said, and everyone I'm sure knows what they've said, so I'm not going to repeat it. But that's wrong. So yeah, I don't want them anywhere near the club. Who else? The Martin Broughton and Lord Sebastian Coe. I don't see them being serious owners because I spoke about it in the group chat more. That Martin Broughton's got like a 10 million net worth. He's got nowhere near enough to take control of Chelsea. So I think it's going to be between Todd and the Saudi media group. In terms of Todd Bowley, right, he's saying a lot of good things. His PR's good. Nothing's coming out about him and what he said in the past. He's overfunded with his partners. My only issue with Todd Bowley is the fact is that Hans-Jörg Wise fella is partnered with him, and apparently he's got no interest in football. So I'm just saying to myself, well, and he had an issue with Roman or something like that. So it's like, it's just the partner.
I think Mr. Wise, whatever his name is, has got a very, very good life insurance policy. So him being 86 isn't too much of a concern.
Yeah, well, possibly, but I mean, I'm not trying to make any jokes here, but if he sees Marcus Alonso play and Romelu Lukaku, he's going to probably regret it, to be fair. But
he might cash in that policy earlier than expected.
And there's other people involved, like Woody, that guy who owns the NY Jets. Like, I don't know anything about the NFL and NBA, so I can't comment on that. But I don't see him being an interested fella. This thing, Nick Candy, this thing's blew him in the foot. He shot his foot off with this issue. But yeah, I think it's going to be between Ted Bowley and Saudi Media Group. I'm going for Saudi Media Group. That's my preference. But something in the back of my mind is saying Todd Bowley, because he seems to be pushing hard to get Chelsea Football Club. So I don't know, but I'm open for Saudi Media Group.
All right, yeah. I think it's very close between them. Both have a lot to offer in respect to financial backing, connections, redevelopment opportunities. I mean, the Saudis they have the money. The other group has the expertise, the connections. So we'll see. I'm gonna go to who did I say next? Jester. Let me get your take on this. And also, if you can tell me your gut feeling where it's gonna go. I mean, everyone's giving this or that, but your gut feeling, who do you think will be the one picked by Roman?
Well, that's really difficult on who's Roman's going to pick. I think that's it's almost a coin toss. Of course, we had reports that the Saudi Media Group bid didn't go in. It did go in. I think they're at 3.5 billion USD, which is 2.7 billion pounds, I want to say, if I'm converting that correctly. And then we had news that the Bowley Group upped their bid late last night before the deadline. So I'm going to guess they're not very far apart as far as money. So I don't think money is going to be the issue. Okay, the issue is going to come down to who can do the things that they say they're going to do. I know that Bowley has been a sports owner. He is a sports owner for the LA Dodgers. Quite successful at it as well. So he has, as he would be the most public partner. I believe everybody else will be in the background. I don't think that you'll see much from Weiss. I think he'll be more of it's the money thing. He's a money guy. Steinberg, I think is his name. I think he's going to be property development. And then Bowley brings the sports management part. And if it's true, and he says he can take over the club by Brentford, that might be something that gives him the edge, because Roman will be wanting the club to get back to normal. The club he loves, the club he's giving up $1.5 billion for. That guy would want Chelsea to get back, these sanctions lifted, and for them to be normal, if things be as normal as possible again, right? So that might give him a slight edge that he can come in like that. The money's already verified. They know everybody behind it. Look, for the Saudi media group, of course, if you go deep enough, you do get back to the government. It's behind shell corporations and behind funds, but in Saudi Arabia, the government runs everything, and they have their hands in everything. In a dictatorship, that's part and parcel. It's every dictatorship, or monarchy, I guess I should say, not dictatorship. That's kind of rude.
No, stick to dictatorship because we're in a monarchy in this country.
Oh, okay. I'm okay. You gotta hurt somebody's feelings, right? So I think that those two are the top, the Saudi Media Group and the Bowley Group. And I know everybody's like, we don't want Americans because of Kroenke and the Glazers. But I think that's those fan groups blaming the owners because they're from a different country, and Manchester United have spent the most money. So how is it the owner's fault? And maybe it's the people they've put in charge. You can blame them for, but not that the money they've put into the club. Same with Arsenal. Arsenal spent what, 250 million this last summer. So how is that on the owner?
Can I quickly
one second. I just want to address this comment by Wissam. Wissam, I respect you and I respect your comment, and I agree. What Jesters is saying, I think he means in regards to a relationship, because that applies wherever you go. I think a clear example of this is the news that we've heard about Nick Candy. He was at a dinner engagement with the ruling party, the British government, and this happened on the night of the invasion of Ukraine. So we are gonna see every billionaire tied to the government of the country they belong to, and the connection is gonna be for political favors, for investment opportunities, because every country needs its private sector to inject capital and investments for the economy of that country. And who better to do that than the billionaires of that country? So therefore, they will have ties and they will have links. Yeah. Now, is there more to it in regards to Saudi Arabia than any other country? I would have to disagree with Jester, because I think every country has that, regardless of if it's a dictatorship, a monarchy, a democracy. I mean, when Iraq was being invaded by the Americans, I think the Glazer family had good relationships with George W. Bush, and they are here in the UK. So, billionaires are always going to be linked to the government, and linked to individuals. So that's there.
Again, it's a little bit different if the government actually has an ownership stake in some of the companies.
Ownership is different. No, I'm talking about relationship. Ownership is different, of course.
No, yeah, relationships, they're always because money talks and bullshit walks, right? Sorry, but that's the way the world works. So yes, billionaires will always have influence over our government because they fund candidates, and we don't have to get into politics. But I just want to
interrupt you for 1 second. There is information out there on the internet in regards to the Saudi media group that does suggest that the Saudi government owns a 60% share of that organization. So that information is there. All you got to do is do your research and you will find it. 40% of that organization is owned by a gentleman called Al Ibrahim. Al Ibrahim owns 40%, and he is the one who runs the organization. Mohammed Al Khwaji, he is the head of the board of directors, and he is the director of operations for the Middle East, for the Saudi media group. So if you do your research, you will, in respect to this, you will find a paper trail that leads to the Saudi government. Now, is that information inaccurate? Possibly. Is there something that is misrepresented? Because that information is there, but and all they have to do is look it up. And I'm surprised that a lot of journalists haven't actually looked at that and haven't actually mentioned that, because it's there. All you got to do is 10 minutes of Google, and you'll find it.
I actually
Sorry,
did.
Justice.
I did the research, and you come back to two funds that own 60% in an SMG. There's two funds, and those funds, so I guess they're enough removed from the paper trail that they can kindly say there's no links. But I think there was a report out today that some MPs are upset that the owner of Man City met with Bashar al-Assad and Vladimir Putin. So look, we live in a crazy world that likes to cancel people. If you do something, you're done, you're out. Like, look at Roman. He is as far removed as Putin as you can get as a Russian billionaire. There are some that are very close to Putin. Roman is not one of those, and he still got counseled. So be careful what you wish for. I'm not saying that anything coming from America is perfect or better than anybody else. By no means am I saying that. All I'm saying is the United States government does not own anything having to do with the consortium that Voli has put forward. You cannot get back to the United States government at all.
Right. So that's unlike. So you're saying that's unlike the other consortiums, like the Saudi media group. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, you can get back to this
Right.
if you dig deep enough behind shell corporations and funds.
Okay.
The Saudi government is there.
Eric, I've done the research. There is a link. There is a link, and like I said, it's quite easy to find. It doesn't take too much digging. All you got to do is connect the dots. Who owns this group? Who owns shares in that group? And who is it tied to? It's literally four steps back. You have to go, and you'll find the connection.
Are you concerned, Mo, potentially? So are you thinking that maybe 20 years from now, if the Saudi media group take over the club, then they'll be in a similar situation to Roma?
No, I'm not concerned if the Saudi media group take over Chelsea will be in the same situation. I'm concerned anybody who is not British taking over Chelsea, we could be in that situation. Like I spoke about in the past, geopolitics changes so quickly. Russia were ally. Listen, after the Cold War, Russia became allies of Europe. The G8, and we had all this meetings and trade agreements and whatnot, and then certain things happened in the Middle East, and then we saw Russia face off against America in Syria, and then Ukraine kind of got a little bit tense in 2014. They started to throw out some signals. Russia came in and took a part of that country. More bad signals came out, and we are where we are. And this is one of the countries that has a lot of trade agreements, a lot of contracts, a lot of investments all over the planet. So it could go south quite quickly.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I would say not just a British owner. I would say a British or American owner. So if anybody else, or any other consortium that wasn't British or American.
Let me run you back about 4 years, or just under 4 years, when we had Donald Trump running the United States of America. Things got a little bit tense with the United States of America because of the way he was talking about pulling out of NATO, about interfering in a whole bunch of stuff in Europe. Had he won a second term, we could be in a totally different situation right now with America. So, like I said, Eric, geopolitics things can
No, but
change.
it's
Things
no.
can change.
I would still say it's very unlikely. Like you wouldn't get a situation like now with America. Like it just wouldn't. I don't think it would be maybe, of course, I could be wrong, but I think the UK and America have a different. Like they've never been at odds, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'll refer to Jester, and he'll give you a lesson in history about America and Britain and how much they love each other. Right? Just
I mean, no, but say whatever you want about the relationship, but as far as sanctions are concerned and things of that nature, I think it's fair to say that nothing would get to that level. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, the greatest holiday for Americans is the 4th of July. And do you know what that celebrates?
Yeah, independence, yeah.
From?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what that means exactly. I don't know what you're trying to say with that, but yeah. Anyway, look, I think it's not. It's a difficult thing. Yes, it's a difficult situation. And just as we're talking about the American owners, but the reality is, nobody's saying that every American owner would do the same thing that we've seen, from most of them. I think we've had some. I can't remember what stream we were watching. The owners of Villa and the American as well. And look how they've transformed the club and made them so much more competitive. So nobody is saying every American, but from the vast majority of them, they have a way of doing things. They have a way they look at these things. So I think that is the point that people are making. And even the whole thing with United and Arsenal, it's only recently that Arsenal started investing the way they have. I can't remember the last time they spent this much money in a transfer window, or maybe I was, maybe I missed something. And United, from what United fans told me, the Glazers bought them on debt. So they didn't even use their own money to buy the club. And all the money they've spent was actually money generated by the club. So they haven't actually spent their own money. So these are just some of the things that people are concerned about.
Yeah, look, I know people are concerned about American investors because of the Super League and what came about with that and who was pushing that. And people think that the American investors or the American sports mentality is different, and I am one of those people who think the American sports mentality is different. The way that sport is being followed and being marketed in the US is different. However, I think where we are in respect to America and Europe and the way that they are addressing sport, I believe that the Americans have come in with a particular mindset, a particular mentality, and they've quickly learned that they need to change that and address that. And I think the example of Ragnick being brought in at Manchester United to fill in as a manager this season and then become a director next season shows that they understand that they need to have football brains at senior levels in their clubs to be able to run them in a successful manner. And I think if the Americans do end up buying Chelsea Football Club, it's not all doom and gloom, because I think they will adjust. It might be a little bit of a stressful few months, maybe a season, until they start, whoever comes in starts to understand the fans and the culture of Chelsea Football Club. And this is why when we talk about a potential owner being a Chelsea fan, it rings true with us, because we know that this person who's coming in knows our culture, knows our expectations, and he will be able to run the club towards that. While if they are new, it's going to take him a little bit of time to understand who we are and what we're all about, because every club is different. And that is why we are concerned, because we don't want to have someone who's coming in who has no idea what Chelsea Football Club is and just sees a sporting investment opportunity. We don't want that. We want someone who's going to come in who looks at Chelsea Football Club as our history, our legacy, our ambitions, because we have a very ambitious club here. We have a very ambitious club. Eric, you jumped the line, man. You didn't take your turn. I'm actually going to go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't do that again, man. Don't do that again. It's not acceptable.
Sorry.
No, I actually want to hear from DJ. DJ is a season ticket holder, and I want to hear what you have to say, and then I'm going to go to Nick Blue and Bobby. I want to hear from you guys, and then we'll expand further. What's your thoughts on this, DJ?
Yeah, for me, as I've said all along, on a lot of my comments I've been saying in general, I just want someone to obviously come in and who's going to obviously look after the football club, as Roman did, who's got the same passions as Roman has, and who will actually not take money out of the football club and invest and take us to the levels we're at now, but take us even higher. Now, obviously, I don't want to go into issues of different owners here. I think everyone knows, kind of owners that we want at the football club, and the reason why I've always sided and said to go with the Saudis is because of what I've seen them do, what I've seen how for example, even though not so, I've seen how Manchester City's run, for example, how PSG are run, and now Newcastle have got them now. I just want someone who's going to come in, and the reason why I'm going more for this Saudi media group, if you like, is because the guy's actually a Chelsea fan. That's more the reason why I'm saying for him, to come in and possibly he'll know. Obviously, he's obviously got plans already of what he wants to do. He'll understand the fans, the culture. The guy goes and watches matches as well. I do believe his family, not just himself, but his kids are all Chelsea fans as well. And I think that's the only reason why I've said about wanting someone like that. Now, I'm not saying all the American owners are bad. Obviously, every time I keep thinking like that, I keep thinking of Manchester United. I keep thinking of Liverpool to some degree a long, long time ago. Until obviously now it's all changed. And obviously what's going on at Arsenal, that's the only reason why I've been concerned about. But for me, as long as we're going to get someone in who's going to be passionate about the club, understands the fans, wants to take this football club higher than what it is, and can get us back to normal again, is all that counts for me. And if it's a Saudi media group, I want them to be in more. If it's going to be others, American, whoever it might be, as long as the person that comes in is going to look after the club well as Roman did. That's all I want as a fan and as a season ticket holder.
Sweet DJ. Thank you very much. Thank you for your insight. Always good to hear input from match going fans. It adds a little bit more of an insight for a lot of the fans who don't get to experience that, to hear what you guys have to say and what you guys think. Look, Jesters is about to depart the stream. I just want to give you a 9.5 out of 10 for your debut performance. Yeah, it's almost perfect, almost perfection. Thank you very much for coming on. It was really a pleasure having you, my brother. And I hope to see you in future streams. Like I said to you in the past, this is your channel. You're always welcome here. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and good luck. Keep growing. And if you haven't subscribed or smashed the like button, I don't know what you're doing. So
thank you, Jester. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you. Take it easy, Jester. Take care.
Later.
Have a good night. Brother. Take care, brother. Cheers. All right, let's. You know what? I actually forgot about Podfather in my calculations. So I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to Podfather, and then I'll go to Nick, and then Bobby. So. And I think Matty is still to go as well. So, Podfather, I do apologize, my brother.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I thought you were trying to hurt my feelings. It's good.
I totally forgot.
But yeah, it's always very interesting listening to everybody's take on things. But yeah, the McCandy thing, I don't know if I'm missing something, but for me, it doesn't seem like that much of a big deal, to be honest. I think if me or you were at a dinner with ministers, the night before or the day of the Ukraine invasion, I think we would be talking to the minister like, "Yo, what's going on with Chelsea? You know what I mean? What's happening?" Trying to get some information. And
but would we talk about Chelsea, or would we talk about Ukraine? Talk about political geopolitics and whatnot.
If I'm a Chelsea
talk about Chelsea and Roman Abramovich, would we do that? I don't know.
If I'm a Chelsea fan, which they say he is, I'm talking about Chelsea. You know what I mean? I'm asking, listen, I've been hearing in the news that my
Come on.
my
You will talk
chairman,
about
like,
Chelsea. No. Hold on. You
Yeah.
would talk about Chelsea to
Yes.
the
to the
current
people who are going
government,
to sanction him.
the people who are in.
Yeah,
So,
I'd want to know the information.
wow.
I don't know why. If I'm next to a policeman and I think they're going to arrest my friend the next day or whatever, I'm going to want to know. Do you plan
No,
on
That'd be a
raiding
first thought.
but
this
it's not.
apartment the next day?
No, but you missed it because Roman isn't his Chelsea. He's a Chelsea fan.
No, I know, but he's if I'm a Chelsea fan and in the news they've been talking about my owner being sanctioned and my club being affected. If I'm in that company, I'm going to ask the question.
They had not had that conversation at that point. That conversation wasn't around at that point. This is the night of the invasion. So Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich, sanctions were not even mentioned at this point.
Okay, because also there was another report that on the day of the invasion that Roman transferred
he did. Correct.
Money. So I think in the back channels, I think it was known. But anyway, that's not really a big. I don't want to get too bogged down with that. I think if everything else he's doing is above board, because it was well known that he was a conservative donor. I think you can check the report. I think he paid like 100,000 to the Conservatives last year. So it's well known that he had ties with the government, and they were almost like trying to push him forward and push him in our face at the beginning of this whole process. Even saying off the record, like, oh, they would like him to be the potential winner of the bid and stuff like that.
And I think it's quite important to mention that I think it was yesterday that reports started coming out to clarify that the government would not have any say in selecting the winning bid. They will facilitate the transaction, but they will not be involved in selecting who buys Chelsea Football Club purely for that reason. I think, yeah.
And that's another thing I want to say. When we were talking about the Saudi thing and whether they were government owned and stuff like that, from what I know, in the past, that hasn't really been an issue with whether they were government owned or not, because obviously with Man City and with Newcastle, it was more the fact that one person can't own two clubs in the same competition. So if they were linked to the PIF fund, then it would become a conflict of interest, because it'd almost be like owning two clubs in the Premier League. So that'd be more of a conflict of interest. Now, going forward, the fit and proper test might say, oh, we don't want somebody with government links, but that's never actually been like a real stumbling block from what I remember of the Man City and the Newcastle takeover. It wasn't that, oh, if you're connected to the government, then you can't own a club in the UK. I think that's a new thing with the Russia thing. And even that's a suggestion from the government, but at the end of the day, the Premier League will have the final say of whether, once the bidder has been chosen, whether it goes through or not, rather than the government. So, I think it's unclear as to whether just having links to the government is enough to disqualify you. I don't think it is, because if that's the case, they wouldn't even make it past the bidding process.
Yeah.
So yes, for me, it's interesting that the news coming out. I'm not opposed to American owners or Saudi owners or anybody pretty much. I think Chelsea, I think Chelsea is a good investment opportunity. So it's being bought at a very strong position. Young team, good manager, committed. Like if you go through all the clubs that were bought, they weren't exactly in this position. Like Man United had an aging team by the time Sir Alex leaves. They have to completely rebuild. So they had their own, Sir Alex leaves, David Gill leaves. So they had a whole rebuilding thing at Man United, and they pretty much cocked up the whole job, pretty much, the Glazers. Liverpool were down and out when the American owners took over there. Man City were, relegation team, Newcastle relegation team. So I think Chelsea's in a very unique position. And I don't think it will take that much to keep us at the level that we're at, especially with the debt being cleared. I think if you come with a real proper strategic vision and a smart way of doing things, and just learning from everybody's mistakes, you learn from the Man City model, you learn from the Man United model, from the Liverpool model, and you take what's the best out of all those things and you put it together. I don't think you need, billions to spend per se, because I think even under Roman, I think we were transitioning to a club where it would become more about smart scouting and players, producing players from the youth team and stuff like that. I didn't think we're going to continue into this next decade, just continue spending the way we spent the last decade. So I personally, I don't need somebody who's worth 15 billion or 20 billion to come and just throw their money at the club. I don't think that's I don't think that's realistic or needed at the moment. In terms of what other people have said about like you can get a owner from the Middle East that doesn't do a good job. Because for me, PSG have not been run well. I think that place is a basket case. I think how you can be in that league and still fail to win it 2 years after the times you've owned the club, when one club is like a million miles ahead of the other clubs. Yes, they buy a lot of expensive players and world class players and stuff, but there's no real method with the way that the club is run. So for me, it's not really a good example. So that's the opposite of what I want. I don't want somebody who's going to come in and just let's just throw in superstars and stuff like that. In terms of the owners having had some experience in sports ownership, obviously football is uniquely different. But I feel like people, once you have a certain ethos, knack, and you surround yourself with the right people, I think you can learn on the job. I think if you look at even when Roman took over, I'm pretty sure at first he wasn't that. He wasn't that engraved in like football heritage and all that sort of stuff. But you can see the difference from the first year when he comes into the club, where we just buy everybody. You bring in Veron, you bring in Mutu, you bring in the best players in the world.
It took Roman a few years before he became the Roman that we all admired and respected as our owner. It took him a while to become one of us. Roman Abramovich, he was looking at Tottenham literally just before he bought Chelsea. So he could have been someone who every Chelsea fan hates had he have gone to North London. But it panned out differently. It came this way, and I agree with you. He doesn't have to be a Chelsea fan to be successful at Chelsea. But right now, because of the way the club is being sold, the circumstances that the club is being sold under, we would feel a lot more comfortable having that little bit of reassurance that who is going to take the club from the hands of someone who has shown nothing but love to the club will also be able to give us that kind of peace of mind, I guess. I just want to address this question here by Shenza. Shenza, good question. And to be honest, it's not very clear. It has been suggested that the money from the club will be received by the government and then spent via charities and trusts to the victims of Ukraine. Now, is that going to be funneled through the government? Because the government is currently looking to do some work to help refugees from Ukraine. So are they going to take that money and spend it in that department? Are they going to actually give it to legitimate charities that are currently working to support and help people fleeing the war in Ukraine? That is the whole assumption, because Roman Abramovich, when he decided to sell the club before he was sanctioned, his intention was that, and his blueprint was that. So the government were kind of pushed to follow that because, the whole idea is they don't want money to go to someone who is backing Putin. Now, that money was always intended to help the victims of Ukraine. Therefore, they need to uphold that, acknowledge that, and carry that out. Because if they were to transfer that money elsewhere and to use it elsewhere, then the question would be asked, why did you even sanction Roman Abramovich? So this is the issue when it comes to this. And again, We don't really know exactly how it's going to be spent, but this is just the assumption. Pod, is there anything else you wanted to add to your statement?
I just want to say I'm very dubious of people who all of a sudden we find that they're Chelsea fans when they're bidding, and we had no idea before. So all of a sudden, they start digging up these pictures.
Season ticket holders, Pod. Season ticket holders. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to see what other clubs they have season tickets to.
Season tickets for, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, season ticket holder, and the last time you were at the bridge was in 19 whatever or 2000 whatever, and you got a season ticket and you haven't been for a couple of years. It's a little bit troublesome. Look, before I go to Nick, I'm going to go to Wissam. I'm going to go to Wissam, then Nick, and then I'm going to go to Tobago, and I'm going to go to Bobby. Wissam, brother, you are a Saudi. You are a Chelsea fan from Saudi Arabia. So, firstly, I want to say welcome, ahlan wa sahlan, in the Blue Lounge. And ahlan wa sahlan feek. And I want you to give us an insight, because we here in the UK and on different parts of the planet, we have access to Google. We research, we read, but as you know, the famous saying, the people of Mecca are the best to ask about Mecca. So I wanna ask you. It's an Arabic saying, so me and you understand it. Everyone else will figure it out. So, Wissam, tell me about the Saudi media group and what can you educate us in respect to them?
So the Saudi media is a group of media, inside of Saudi Arabia that they control it, and then also in the Middle East in general, as like the beIN Sport, as you know, who control the BSG owner that takes care, who bought it. So I just want to say that he connected to the government. I'm not lying, but you should know that he's not that much connected to the government, to any politics of Mohammed Salman or King Salman, But he's like the helper or the solution of the government, like if social media in general. And
advisor, Mustashar, advisor.
أيوة.
Oh, okay.
And as you can see in goal, he also his father also he is rich also from this. So, but I think if everybody have different decisions, but from the inside, I to be honest, I'm not knowing it 100% because I'm not into politics. But in general, he never connected to the government, but he connected at least say 10%, 20% of the government. And that's it. But as in general, I can give you a simple question. Why nobody speaks about Man City when they have a prince owner that's connected to the government? Why Saudi are a problem to them? I don't get it. Why they don't talk about Man City situation when they bought the club from the prince and he's rich also. It doesn't mean that
Qatar,
they are rich.
Qatar and Paris Saint-Germain is the same as well.
Yeah, but I just don't know why, in England, they hate the country. So, in general, I just say that: do you want to have American owner that says Todd Bowley that says, "I don't want to blow money," so he don't want to blow money for the club? Does it mean that he want to be like the Arsenal owner or the other owner, Man United, that doesn't care about football? And in general, his what's called. His consortium, others they don't know about football, and they are one of them says he's a Tottenham fan. I don't know if I hear. So, in my thinking, that Americans don't want to make the club in a better place. They want to make it in the worst place. And about money, they like money to save money. But as us, we are passionate on football. We love football, and he also. You know that he owns Al Nassr. He helps an Al Nassr team from the stadium. He knows about football
beautiful
also.
Beautiful stadium that he built.
Yeah, he knows that. So, and he did this. So in general, he is a passionate footballer. He loves football, Al Khariji. And you saw one of his photos, his selfie. But in general, would you rather Saudi or American will make the club in different way, like not the same as we have Roman Abramovich. He's typical as Roman Abramovich, who takes one control as him.
Wait, is that
And
the stadium he built? Was that the stadium he built? What he put on Twitter? Al Khalifa?
yes,
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay. Well, it looks nice, yeah.
yeah. But I just say that
Wissam, I just want to interrupt you for 1 second. Look,
yeah.
I want to clarify something. I know you being Saudi would take a lot of what is being said personally because it affects you, it affects your country. Me being an Arab, I also take it personally because Saudi Arabia, Emirates, Iraq, Syria, these are all my people, these are all my countries. So I also take it personally. The thing is this, the way people perceive certain things and the way that the media highlights certain things will give them a false impression of why things are being done. And I'll give you an example. Recently, Saudi Arabia executed 80 plus people for crimes. Now, the incident is as reported, Saudi Arabia executed this number of individuals. What crimes they committed, what judicial process was followed, what sentences were carried out, how it was carried out. Not a lot of light is put on that. Now, there are countries. One second, Sam. There are countries like the United States of America who also have the death penalty, who also execute people every year for crimes that they have committed.
I agree.
And we also know that many a time after people were executed, we find out that they were innocent of the crimes they were executed for. So the issue should be, is the death penalty acceptable or not acceptable?
It's religious. It is religious, you know.
And the people who make that judgment are the people and the society who is being employed upon. So in Saudi Arabia, they follow a very strict law. And for them to execute someone, there is a process that is followed under Sharia. And a lot of people don't understand the rules of Sharia because if you're not a Muslim, you will not understand it and how it is implemented. Now, I am not I'm not advocating one system over another. But what I am saying is, before you judge a system, please take the time and do the research and not just what is reported by the BBC, CNN, Fox News. You need to read, you need to understand, because a lot of the time there is a narrative that is being pushed. Today, us Chelsea fans have got a very good example of this. We've had two prominent journalists who I respect both. Now, I don't lean towards one of them because I think he's a little bit biased, but I respect that they are both good journalists and they are both connected to the club, and both have been reporting the news from a different perspective, and I will name them. Nizar Kinsella on one side, Matt Law on the other side. Now, is one right and the other wrong? Is one pushing one avenue and the other pushing a different avenue? And I'm talking about the sports world here, and I'm talking about one particular story. Who is bidding for Chelsea Football Club? Who is ahead in their bid? And whichever reporter you will ask, they will give you a different perspective in respect to this small aspect of the global news. Now, if we're talking about Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest countries in the Middle East, one of the biggest economic powers on the planet, whatever has been reported and whatever you're listening to and taking on board, I ask you to do your research. Go ahead, Wissam.
Okay, so I want to say that, as you know, that in my country, Saudi Arabia, news that comes out of countries are fake. Just so you know, you have to look from the inside of the country, because sometimes you see news that like CNN and other BBC and other like medias saying lying things. I'm being serious. But as you can see now, my country has changed over a lot. As you can see, we can see pictures that women have the rights and have everything rights, and change the country, and that women are equal and can drive and do everything right now. So about the thing that he says, 81 crimes, can you see that Yemen people come to the mountains and want to kill us, want to get into the land of the Saudi Arabia as terrorists? Would you rather to kill them, or would you rather just let them in? Do you know that we have also Yemenis people that we take them and save them and we have them in our country? Just that
Wissam,
we have friends with them.
Listen, in respect to the war in Yemen, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. And when I say disaster, it's a disaster because I am seeing brothers killing each other. You are a Saudi. The Yemenis are not only your brothers as Arabs, but they are your brothers as in tribal ties. There are people in Yemen and people in Saudi Arabia who have the same tribal ties, the same heritage. And the fact that there is this war, going on, is a disaster on all levels. Now, who is right, who is wrong? In my opinion, whoever is instigating the war, whoever is continuing this fight is wrong. Because today I want to see Saudi Arabia and Yemen end this war, and for them to resolve any problem they have with their mouth rather than with their guns.
I agree. But as you can see that they want to kill us, and you can see proof on Al Arabiya or anything.
Both
you can see them. They want to.
Wissam, Al-Harb in the war, both sides are fighting. And whoever you ask will tell you the other side is the aggressor. Whoever you will believe that the Yemenis are the aggressors, the Yemenis will say you are the aggressor. And to a certain degree, they are both right. You are both right, because it's a war. And this is why I'm saying to you, as Arabs, as brothers, we need to sit down and you need to talk. Saudi Arabia and Yemen, they need to end this war, and they need to sit down on a table.
We are friendly.
Talk
we are friendly with
brother
Yemen.
to brother.
We are friendly with Yemen.
Habibi, we're brothers.
In Yemen, in my country.
We are brothers.
Yep.
So for us, we need to resolve this issue, and the only way we can do it is by sitting down and talking, because this war is wrong. Is wrong on all levels.
Okay, but I just want to say that Al Khariji would be very suitable on our club, and will let us lead into the right place for us of having players that like as contract as Rudiger and other players. And the other thing that will develop the stadium and want to improve the stadium. And I just want to say that if people want to have, like, if the Britain says that they want to have the guy Todd, so then what can I say? I would support him, but I'm saying that Saudi are the best. Trust me, they have ambition, and he is having ambition. As you can see, he loves Chelsea. He is like Roman Abramovich second. So,
Wissam,
that's it. I'm gonna say.
all of us on this panel were discussing the bids, and one key factor that we all agree on is we want to see one person being able to be in charge rather than a consortium. And the Saudi media group under the supervision of Mohammed Al-Khariji would give us that, would give us a key head who is able to delegate. So there is many good points, and I'll tell you. I mean, I've been promoting the Saudi media group. I've got a few people here on the panel. Chris and others. They really want to see this happen. End of the day, we don't make the decision, but all we can do is highlight the different options. Wissam, Habibi, stay on. We're going to continue the discussion. I'm going to go to Nick Blue, and then we'll go to Tobago. So thank you for your insight, Nick, my brother. You've heard what everyone has said in respect to where we could potentially end up in regards to buyers. How do you see this panning out? And Nick is asleep. All right, I'll go to Bobby. I'll go to Bobby. Bobby, please be awake. Bobby.
He's
Well,
asleep as well.
everyone's asleep. Everyone's asleep. All right, all right. Who's next? Who's next? Bobby.
Who's awake?
DJ Sav. DJ Sav.
I'm awake.
No,
Yeah, what's
you've
up?
got the
All right,
mute icon.
fantastic.
You got to let me.
Yeah, Bobby, big up.
You got to let me unmute myself because
All right.
I've kept mute for so long. I struggle.
You forgot what the button was. All right, go ahead, Bobby. Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
This is an intriguing one, and as we left it yesterday, it's all very much about wait and see. To me, looking at what we know, what's been out there, it seems that the three viable candidates will be Todd Bowley, the Ricketts Group, and this Saudi media. They all have their pros and cons. It's good to have anybody that has any kind of open Chelsea affiliation in any team. I really understand what the Podfather is saying. It all seems a bit strange that you come out as a Chelsea fan when you're bidding, but to me, I guess that's better than not having any sort of Chelsea affiliation at all, because that shows a willingness to bond with the fans, the culture and traditions of the club. However, if you don't have that, doesn't mean to say you won't have that. The one thing I do take, again, Podfather did mention this, is the uniqueness of this sale. The uniqueness of the sale because of the position Chelsea are in as a club in terms of achievement is different, and it will lead to a uniqueness in the purchase. Not only do the people have to show they are financially solvent to take on this club long term, which needs a lot of money. So gone are the days where single ownerships, certainly of a club of the size of Chelsea, can happen. You need some people behind you, and you've got to put down a blueprint for plans going forward. It's all very well to say this and that. Nick Candy, I don't take too seriously. I never have done, because it all sounds too. I understand he's a fan, and I relate to his story. Supported Chelsea from the age of 4, just like I did, and has been in love with the club ever since. His father was meant to play for Chelsea or something, so he's very, very much a Chelsea boy, that's for sure. But being a Chelsea boy and having the funding and organization to run the club is a totally different matter. He struggled for funds, and the organization operationally looks chaotic. It doesn't look uniform, unlike the Saudi group that's already an established company. Whether they have sports or organizational experience is another matter, but they're an established unit, and they'll be able to function and execute a plan in unity. And of course, Todd Bowley has that experience. He has people that have relative experience within things like construction and of course financial backing. And I understand quite recently he's had either support, advice, or whatever from Goldman Sachs. So he's quite a business stroke organized establishment. And the very important thing about Todd Bowley that we tend to forget is that he's wanted Chelsea for a long time, and he's not given up. So to me, that says something. Now, there's the stigma that Americans have, with us British in football, in that we don't appreciate their sporting culture. To them, it's how they function. To us, we are, and indeed most of the rest of the football world football is a tribal sport. It's a sport that is so emotional. You know, you get into this thing and it's your life. It's who you are. You support your club from beginning to end. You know, that you go through everything. It's a mentality that's hard to explain, but we know what we mean. And you will recognize another football fan, whether rival or not, when you see one. They are usually not it. But that doesn't mean to say that they can't be it, because we get a lot of Americans, even on this platform or following this stream, who are, you know, try and convince them they're not fans, or tell any of us that they're not fans, and you're sorely mistaken. And I've seen firsthand the American Chelsea following in places like New York, LA. I mean, they're serious guys. So whether this man will have that level of emotion, it's left to be seen. But apparently, I understand he's a winner. He wants to win. And one thing about being a winner and getting involved with a club like Chelsea is it infects you. You know, Chelsea is a club that once you're in it and you're invested in it, that's it, you're gone. You are a Chelsea fan. It's very hard to think any other way. And I think that's what happened to Roman. I don't think Roman certainly wasn't always a Chelsea fan, but when he became invested in the club, the emotion, the whole thing, the love just took him over. So, you know, I can't rule out an American. There's a lot of negative sentiment towards the Ricketts family, perhaps rightly so, for some comments that was made. You know, I don't know. I accept that. I think, you know, you need to be, you know, you can't be saying this sort of things these days with the sort of following internationally that Chelsea has. So that really, you know, kicks them to the curb. However, just as I said yesterday, I don't buy this. Oh, he's Donald Trump's mate, and you know that means he's bad. Well, no, you know, you're bringing politics into football. He might be bad to you, but I can assure you there is a huge swathe of people that think he's probably one of the best things that happened to global politics. So then it becomes debatable. But you know, and you have to base it on the integrity of them and the things they have said that has removed that integrity, rather than their political affiliations, which has sort of brought us to where we are now. The Saudis, that's an interesting one, because I'm made to understand that they are a private company. Now, if you're going to link them to the interests of, you see, this is the problem when you do these things. You know, somebody earlier said that.
Bobby, let me just interject for 1 second. I want to clarify something about, because just as addressed it, you're about to address it. Wissam also addressed it. I want to clarify something about how business is conducted in the Middle East. You see, the Middle East, the countries that are in the Middle East, the public sector is the key. The biggest organizations that are involved in running the country are in the public sector, and they control a majority of the business in that country. Even the private sector enterprises that work are linked to the public sector. Now, for example, when cars are sold in an open economy in the UK, the companies themselves will import the cars, or will manufacture the cars in Southeast Asia, in plants here in the country where they assemble them, and then they will ship them out to the dealers and sell them. In the Middle East, it doesn't work like that. In the Middle East, the imports of the vehicles will be done through the Ministry of Transportation. They will bring in the cars as per the orders of the companies. So the companies, like for example Toyota, if they want to sell cars in Saudi Arabia or in Iraq, they can sell them cars, but they have to import them through the Ministry of Transportation. Now, the sale is done via a private organization, but that private organization has to import its goods through the Ministry of Transportation. Now, is the representatives of Toyota that are selling the cars in Iraq or in Saudi Arabia, are they working for the Saudi government? No, but they have to fulfill the legislation of the import law for their products. The same applies here for the Middle East, for the Saudi. I keep calling it Middle East because it's the Middle East Broadcasting Center, MBC, but it's the Saudi Arabian Media Group. They have to broadcast via legislation and via communication with the Ministry of Communications, the Saudi Ministry of Communications. They can't operate unless they have direct ties to the Ministry of Communications. So what do? They will meet at senior levels, and because the Middle East is a tribal country, you will have the Sheikh, all right, who is the head of that organization, meeting who? Meeting the minister to discuss what? To discuss business. Here we have boardrooms, we have meetings that happen in a professional, transparent manner. Over there, they will sit down, have a cup of tea, or as we call it, stikan chai. They will have a stikan chai, they will discuss, they will eat, and then they will shake their hands and they will walk away. And that is binding. It's like signing a contract. They didn't sign no contract. They looked themselves in the eyes, they discussed, they agreed, they shook each other's hands as men, and they walked away. Now, how can you track that? Where's the paper trail? There isn't a paper trail. But that is how 90% of business is done in the Middle East.
I mean,
okay, and this is why it's difficult. I mean, like I said, I did research and I saw there is a 60% stakehold. Now, is that accurate? Is that number? Because like I said, I saw the report. I didn't have the time or the resources to check the validity of that report. It could be accurate, it could not be accurate. So again, it is hard to measure a different culture using our own standards. But you know, I will tell you this, Bobby, 100%, and here Wissam confirmed it, 100% there is links between Al-Khwaji and the Saudi government, because if there isn't, they can't work in that country. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I fully understand that. You know, I can't see how, when you are very successful in high finance and you're from a particular government, a particular country, that you will not be associated to or having dealings with, if you like to call it, affiliations with the governments of that country. I just don't see how it's possible. And, you know, I just think what is happening here is akin to what happened to Japanese Americans in the Second World War when they were being attacked on the street after Pearl Harbor because of what Japan did. And Japan couldn't give a rat's ass as to what happened with them, because as far as they were concerned, they don't exist. And they caught the flack of this lynch mob mentality. You see, this is the danger with this sort of thing. You know, I will not stigmatize or join the media and start stigmatizing people because they are by accident of birth Russian. I can't do that. I think that in itself is defective. I think this is how racism comes about, something that we all abhor. I am in full support and empathy of what's going on in Ukraine, but I won't hate upon the Russian people. They are as much a victim as the Ukrainians. This is a battle fought out by political powers. And as always, the people that suffer is the ordinary people. If people like us at Stamford Bridge are getting hit financially, having our jobs at risk because of this, then you can imagine the common people over there. I think it's wrong. I think the media have been very irresponsible with their handling of this, the way they have stigmatized Roman Abramovich as if he was the one that ordered the rolling in of the tanks into Ukraine. It's all wrong. It's horrible. But we are where we are. He's been targeted, he's been blamed, and he's been sanctioned, and he's lost his club. But please don't destroy the club as well, because that is absolutely meaningless. It's mindless, and thankfully that looks like it's not going to happen. So, back to the people that want to buy the club, the Ricketts situation, that's where I stand. I stand with others against them. I only learned what they said yesterday on this platform because of what they said. But for them being associated with any politician or any political association before, no. I absolutely don't. Nick Candy himself has political associations. Bowley himself has political. They all do. So singling out one because that's the one you don't like is wrong, and that is discriminatory in itself. So who wins the deal? It will be interesting. It's left to be seen. The Saudis, I think they've got a good chance. They certainly have the finances. Anybody who understands the business culture over there, like you do, Mo, will see that for what it is. Are they involved in any of the human rights issues? I doubt it. I don't know. I would like to think they are not. But, time will tell. Bowley, he looks actually the strongest of them all. The Ricketts, well, we know what's happening with that. And Nick Candy, personally, I don't think he has a chance because it's not organized. We love him as a Chelsea fan, but nah, I think this is slightly out of his league.
Mo, I just want
Bobby, one second. I'll let you come in with some. Just 1 second. In respect to Nick Candy, I think this whole story that's come out today about him and the dinner engagement will rule him out with Roman. Not rule him out as in he shouldn't have done it, but rule him out as if Roman takes offense to it, then he may decide to go elsewhere in respect to it. But I agree with you. Everyone is connected in some way, shape, or form. Wissam, quickly, because I need to give everybody else a chance. Go ahead, Wissam.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm not very 100% know that if they are 100% to the government or not. But he is, but a bit, he's not that more into the government thing. But his father owned the money, so I'm just saying. And about Todd, what's your comments about he don't want to blow the money? Could you anybody answer this? Because one of the comments, the Athletic, he don't want to blow money.
Waste money to overspend. Yeah. That's what it's meant to overspend. Saudis and Arabs, Wissam, were known to be able to spend without بدون حرقة القلب, we don't mind. We will spend it. It doesn't burn our heart. We will spend the money and we will do the best. We will do the maths later. Let's get the players. We'll do the maths later. That's the way we do business. Todd, what's his name? The other guy, he's probably going to be, how much is this going to cost me? Let's do an analysis, and then he'll be like, we'll buy him. The Arabs, let's get him. We'll discuss the mathematics and the accounting later. I'm going to go to Bago, and then I'll go to DJ Sav, and then I'll go to Matty. Have I missed anyone? Nick Blue. Listen, you fell asleep. It's not my fault. Listen, if you fall asleep, man, you fell asleep. What was you do? 2.5 hours. So I said Nick 4 times. You didn't answer.
Yeah, but maybe
Listen,
the
just go back
Wi-Fi.
20 minutes. Go back 20 minutes, and you'll see it on the stream. I'll come to you, Nick. I'll come to you. Tobago, welcome.
Oh God.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. How are you, Tobago?
I'm good and you.
I'm good. Tobago,
Yeah.
give me your thoughts.
First of all, big up guys, and then my thoughts for this issue. I've did some research between Saudi media and Todd Bowley, and to be honest, I don't care about others because, like, I think those two are the front runners. So far, personally, I want the Saudi media because the guy supports Chelsea. He owns a football club. He also built a beautiful stadium. He'll spend money for Chelsea just like Roman Abramovich. And then about Todd Bowley. Todd Bowley, it's all about winning because I've been watching his interviews, and then his team, LA Dodgers, are dominating there in America. So like the guy is also good because like it's all about winning. So hopefully we get one of the two. But personally, I just want the Saudi media, as you know, guys. So I want
All
I
right,
want to talk.
Tobago. As we say from the end. In my country, we say, "Speak to me from the end. Don't speak to me from the beginning. Speak to me from the end." Why do you want the Saudi Arabian media group to buy Chelsea? Why? From the end. Tell it as you see it.
Okay, to be honest, first of all, the guy is a Chelsea supporter. He has the money. He also owns a football club. So he already know how to run a football club. So if he comes to Chelsea, like it won't be a problematic. So that's a bonus for us.
All right. Thank you, Tobago. DJ South was next. Nick has jumped ship. Look, Nick.
Okay, what's up, Nick?
Mate. I'm sorry, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, you're welcome to jump back on, and I'll give you your time. Just don't get angry. Go on, DJ. Take it away.
Yeah, as I said to me, Mo, as I said earlier on, Mo, you know, obviously, I obviously want an owner to obviously come in and, you know, love the club as Roman did and do what he needed to back the club as Roman did, you know, be passionate about the club as Roman did. And the reason why, as I said to you earlier on, why I'm more for the Saudi media group is I've said before, the fan, being a fan already, you know, helps for one thing. We know this guy has already put some plans in place of what he's going to do. That for me is another. When you talk about Rudiger's contract extension, you talk about Aspie, you talk about what he's going to do to the ladies football team, and also that he's going to also put money into the youth academy. From what I understand, is his plan, and also he's also going to develop Stamford Bridge as well. So he has got some plans already in place. Now I know Todd Bowley's got something similar, but I don't think he's got as many in place. Now the only worry for me with Todd Bowley is it might all start being good in the beginning. And then down the line, once he gets, I'm not saying he'll do this on purpose, once he gets fans on side, what will he do after that? Will we see him going down the road of the Glaziers? Will he go down the road of the Cronkies? That's my only worry. Whereas I know with the Saudi media group, the guy being a Chelsea fan, we know what this guy's going to do. He's going to invest. He's going to want what's best for Chelsea. And for me, that is more of the advantage point. And as I said, I've got nothing against the Americans either. So if anyone comes at me, please don't. I've got nothing against them. That's my only concern about them coming. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
But do you like have American owners in the Premier League? Like now they have 3 American owners in the league.
Yes.
So do you like?
This is what I've said earlier on, mate. I said no.
Wissam, DJ literally spoke about this just before you came on, and you know, he highlighted Aston Villa as being a good example of how they could do the business well, while as the other two, you know, they've had their hiccups. So,
but I agree every word you say, DJ. I agree every word you say.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Cheers, DJ. All right, I'm going to go to Matty, and just so everyone knows, Matty has been waiting patiently, and I want to say thank you for that. I know not everyone has patience, so thank you for being patient, Matty. Take it away, brother.
That's all right. Don't worry. My system timed out, so I'll try and make it as brief as possible. I think what we've got to remember is that there are 30 bids, and most haven't actually been made public yet. So you've
Correct.
got
Good point. That's a very good point.
You've got that devil's advocate then of what is going to be in place, and only Roman and the Rain Group actually know who the bidders are. So you're kind of torn between a rock and a hard place. So you could have somebody, and I think it was who reported it this morning? Oh, somebody called Simon, and he said that somebody had got like over £1 trillion worth of assets.
Phillips.
That was it.
Simon Phillips.
Yes. Yeah, that was it. So that's that one under the table that's there. You've also got other different people as well in the background. For me personally, Woody Johnson, Ricketts, they're all racist. I don't care what you say. They are, the one guy was with Trump for how many years, so God only knows what he believed in. The Ricketts family have had emails leaked across social media, so that goes to show you that we can't have those sort of things. And when you consider that the Premier League has got kick-out racism campaigns, we have been known in the past to apparently be against blacks or against whoever. The last thing we want is to have a racist owner. That's the last thing we want, because we're already hated at the best of times. We do not need any more ammunition. And if we do, we are going to be more and more hated. Nick Candy, for me, Tory boy, Sebastian Coe. Are you kidding me? Why are we having these people? I mean, Nick Candy, to have something called the London Blue Consortium is like the CBeebies channel. And I think for him to have all this oral diarrhea to go out to the public and just say how much he loves the club, and then he goes on about his dad and all that. Yes, okay, it's sweet, but it's just too much PR. When you look at Roman Abramovich, when he took over, it was short, sweet, and you didn't really hear about it. That's the kind of businessman I want to run this club. And somebody who, as somebody said before in the chat, you want somebody who doesn't want to make it an investment. You want it as somebody's toy that they keep forever. And they have a passionate idea for that toy. Now, for me, if I was going to have somebody, it would either be the Saudis. If push comes to shove, and we're forced to have an American owner, I have to say the Bowley out of the three that's there. To be quite honest, it's the less out of the three evils. To be quite honest with you, but I'm intrigued, as probably everybody is, after I've just said that there's 30 odd bids, who the other ones are, because that is going to be interesting. And apparently they're sifting through bids this weekend, and apparently they're all going to be made public on Monday. So I would watch this space between now and Monday to see who they narrow down, because that is going to be a hell of a thing to come out. For me, as long as we don't get Woody Johnson or the Ricketts family, who is practically cronky but a bit racist, I don't care. At the end of the day, I mean, Mo, you've seen my tweets saying about no Ricketts family. I've even tweeted.
Yeah, I have to say something. I'm actually quite impressed with your Twitter footprint over the past week or so. You have been very active in highlighting a lot of the racial issues, and you've been engaging, being proactive in engaging that. So respect for you for doing that. And a lot of people like yourselves have been doing this, and it's a duty. it's a duty that we all have towards our club and the future of our club. So if we are seeing shortcomings or faults in whoever is trying to bid for our club and we don't speak about it, we don't highlight it, then we are not really being faithful to our team. And I want to thank you for taking the time to do that.
No worries.
I want to. No, I appreciate that. I want to. 3 likes. Are we really 3 likes away? Come on, guys! 97 likes. You're taking the mick. You're gonna leave me hanging on 97 likes. Wow. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours and you can't even give me 100 likes. I can't believe you guys. Look, people, I want to say thank you to everyone. It's been an interesting stream. Look, every stream that we've done in the past 2 weeks, that we'll probably do in the next 2 weeks, is going to have elements of politics involved, whether we like it or not, because of our club and where we are and what's happening. I've learned something. This is an experience for me, and I've learned from it. We live in a world that overlaps. Things overlap. We don't live in a bubble called Chelsea Football Club. We don't live in a bubble. We live in the real world. And the real world, things that happen thousands of miles away affect our beloved club, our passion. Now, whether we shy away from these topics, whether we try to put a positive spin, a negative spin, it's really depending on the platform you're on. One thing I do want to say is this. As Chelsea fans, we have to educate ourselves in all aspects that affect us as Chelsea fans. Whether they are political, social, religion, language. I know one of my panelists is actually taking Arabic lessons. I'm not going to say who, but he's taking Arabic lessons because he thinks it's going to come in useful at some point. I don't know. It will, it won't. I don't know. But look, educate yourselves, people. Educate yourselves. The Chelsea fan base will become better, stronger, if we all know what it is we're talking about. If we all understand the topics that we address. When we're out there tweeting, when we're out there talking, let's leave a good impression. Let's leave a good impression. I don't want to be like Arsenal fans and Tottenham fans who spend their whole time effing and blind and just swearing and just trolling. No, we are better than that. We are a better breed of a fan. Chelsea fans are a better breed of a fan. Let's educate ourselves and let's understand the world we live in and become better for that. And everyone who's taken part in the stream, thank you very much. Everyone who's taken part in the chat, thank you very much. And we will stream again. I'm guessing tomorrow, unless there's some major breaking news. One second. Unless there's something major breaking tomorrow, I don't think I'll be streaming. However, Monday night, possibly, because I think we will hear something on Monday. But yeah, I will be doing streams sporadically during the international break. But make sure you're locked in with the bell notification button and subscribe. I'm going to let Tobago give me his last thoughts before I end the stream. Go on, Tobago.
Like we saw today, Nisa Cancella's post about being harassed and then abused online from Chelsea fans. I think Chelsea fans should just relax because the guy won't say anything until he had a further information about the Saudi Arabia or whoever's bidding. So I think our Chelsea fans should just be patient and respect the journalist. That's it, because it's not acceptable.
Fair comment. Thank you for that. Tobago. Yeah, look, they have their reputations on the line here. So reporting is not going to be easy for the next few days. But anyway, lads, thank you all for hitting that like button. We smashed it, 108 likes. Much love, much respect. Thank you for taking part, and I will see you on my next stream. Oh, and let's hit 10,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, click that subscription button. Have a good night, people. Peace.
Cheers, Mo. Take
Love
care,
the
bro.
Chelsea.
Peace out,
Love the
peace, everyone.
Chelsea.
Love the Chelsea.